Hello.
Hi, friends. Welcome back.
Yeah.
This is my lovely wife, Angie. She is the talent that brings you these tutorials. And I am Rick, her husband, who is just super glad to be here.
I'm glad you're here too.
Oh, well, thank you, love. Thank you. You're so sweet. You're so sweet. You got a cool thing looking here.
I think so.
Yeah?
I don't know. We'll see. I was just saying at the beginning of these tutorials, before I've done anything, I have all these great ideas, and then we'll see how it actually turns out. But I've been wanting to do this one for quite a long time, and I'm finally just taking the time to do it.
Well, this is a cool product. It's you like salvage things, so this is a little bit of salvage. You love the IOD, a little bit of IOD, and a little bit of what's kind of hot and trending. The mushroom thing is a thing. We just bought our daughter some kind of a mushroom. What were they? Pajamas. Yeah, mushroom pajamas. And the garland. Has there ever been a time that garland is out?
No, I don't think so.
No, so I'm in. I'm excited. So.
I am too. Yeah, so the salvage part of this is our son actually is a bartender, and he hasn't been doing it for a really long time, but when he first started doing it, he was like, "Mom, there's all this cool stuff and I feel bad just throwing it in the trash. Would you like me to bring it to you?" And I was like, "Sure." So he has brought me some bottles, but today I'm going to actually use the corks. So he brought me a bunch of little corks.
Oh, yes.
And these corks have like a black top to them, and they looked like mushrooms to me. So I thought, you know what? Let's use some IOD clay, and let's make some cute little mushrooms, and then we'll also make them into a garland. So we'll see. But you put these little eyelets on for me, so we'll be able to hang them.
Oh, yes.
Thank you for doing that.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure.
And yeah,
they look amazing, dear. I'm excited to see what you're going to do with this.
I'm excited too, and I don't know. We'll see.
Okay. Shall we get started?
I think we should.
Okay. So you wanted to you got a couple of them here, and you measured them out. Kind of where we started was we took the cork, the mushroom, and we marked it out. You want to?
Yeah, I used just a little piece of the IOD transfers have this. The cover sheet has a little grid pattern, so I just pulled this out of the.
So useful for so many things.
Yes, and we just made a little hole right there where the grid intersects, and that way we could line up our cork, find the middle of it, and then. Are we going to do one?
Yeah.
Oh,
why not?
Well, let me get the middle of it.
So you can do this. This is just a little picture hanging nail. We have this nice little tool for our Cricut. Yes. And this works out pretty good. She's got it marked up. I'll just score it just a little bit to give me a mark.
Yep. So now there's a little dot in the middle.
And then this is just our little tiny hand drill. You could do this with any kind of drill, but I like to get it started. I don't like to put the eyelet straight in because I'm afraid it'll crack. Like starter holes are a thing. So I like to do a little starter hole and get it started so that the cork or whatever you're drilling doesn't crack. So we marked it in the center. Got our spiffy little hand tool here. The deal is to make your drill, just your drill bit, slightly smaller than the shaft section of your eyelet that is going to go in there. And then just like that. And then just like that.
Yeah, and then I asked him not to screw them all the way in because we are going to put some air dry clay so that they're a little puffier for a mushroom, instead of just completely flat on the top. So we'll build around that, and
you're going to use a little ribbon or something to tie onto your.
I think so. I'm probably going to use some jute, or I might have Might have to make a run to Hobby Lobby.
Oh no, not Hobby Lobby.
But yeah, so first we'll make the little mushrooms, and then we'll make it into a pretty garland, and it'll be perfect to hang probably over my kitchen sink or on my china cabinet. But I'm excited.
I am excited about this project. I think this is a keeper. I like when you do things that we can keep. Sometimes it's hard for you to watch you put your labor and your talent and your love into it, and then we sell it, and that's hard sometimes. But things we get to keep, I'm all about. So.
Yeah, I've made a few little garlands over the years, and they're really fun because you can pull them out for every season and just hang them. And I don't know, it makes me happy every time I see one that
They are awesome. They are awesome. So yeah, when you make stuff and then you put it around your house, I mean, your house becomes a home, right? You'll love your house.
Yes.
So
yes. All right. So I've talked before about the air dry clay. Here in Colorado, we have a really dry climate. So I like to keep mine in a jar. As soon as I open the package, I put it in the jar. I kind of break it into some little clumps, like about this size, throw them in there. And then you can even put a few drops of water in there to keep it moist, but it's actually really nice, a nice texture. If it is too dry, you can add a little bit of water, let it set, and it'll soften back up again. But that's just a little tip if you're living in a dry climate. And you've seen me use the clay in molds. This is the first time I'm going to use it without putting it in a mold. So we'll see how it's going to work. I'm going to try to put this air dry clay over the mushroom so that it looks, or the cork, so that it looks like a little mushroom like this.
Adorbs.
I know. I love it. So that was my test one. I had to kind of work out my process and see. I think with this one, I might be able to get my clay a little thinner so I don't use too much clay. We'll try it and see how that works. So I just kind of flattened it out. Kind of made it a little bit into a circle like this. And then I took a bamboo skewer, and roughly in the center, I just pushed it through and made a hole. That's kind of where my little eyelet that you put on for me, I'm going to pop that through there. The eyelet's bigger than the hole, but I just kind of put it through there. And then I just kind of gently started forming this. Oh man, that would be a cool mushroom.
That's a cool one right there.
I know, but I don't know. I'm gonna form it a little bit more, but I do like the look of that. It looks pretty fantastic.
Dakota just texted, he thinks your project is awesome.
I know, he's gonna be so excited. He's been bringing me these corks and bottles now for a few months, and I just haven't really had the time to play with them, but it's been percolating in my head what I want to do. So I did kind of form it around. Now I just have this little, I don't even know what this is, this little painter tool. You could use really a butter knife, just anything that you have. Because this air dry clay, it cuts very easily. And so I am just kind of trimming off this clay right here around the edge. And then I'm throwing my scraps back into my jar. I want to keep that nice and moist. So I've sprayed some water in there, and I'll put the lid on when I get this all trimmed up. Ah, nice. All right, so now I have it mostly on here. And what I did the last time, it worked pretty well. I'm going to try it this time too. I kind of formed it around so that it's mostly the way I want it. And then I kind of pop it off of there because I need to glue it on. At least I think I need to glue it on. This is still an experiment, but I'm thinking glue would be a good idea. So now I'm just kind of opening it back up, sliding it out of there. The last one came off a little easier.
That looks really good.
Thank you. You know what I should do? I should use one of these that doesn't have an eyelet in it yet to form it, and then
Yeah. You want another one?
I don't know. I might try it. We'll see. All right, then I'm taking this Turbo Tacky Glue, and I'm just putting it all on the top here. And I'm kind of spreading it with my little spreader. Like this. And now I'm going to put this back on here. That went much more easily. And now I'm just kind of gently pressing that clay so that it'll touch all the areas. Also, let me clean this off. Also, I used this to kind of press it around the little eyelet. And there we have another one. Now I have two.
Those are so cute.
They'll still need to be painted. So I've been kind of playing with some colors here, and I have these wooden beads that I'm planning to put on the garland. So I thought I would try some colors out. I tried the blue. I actually really didn't like that. So I'm setting that aside. But I do kind of like these greens and this orange. And to make these, I just used a little bit of white swan and just a little dab of, let's see, this one is Summer Crush. This one is Fancy Farm Girl, and this one is Queen Bee. And I do like these three colors. I think they play really well together, and I think they would be really pretty on the garland. Mixed with the white swan, it kind of tones them down just a little bit, so that I think they'll look really good as a spring decor piece. All right, so these have dried actually for a couple of days, and I'm pretty happy with them. They didn't crack.
They turned out amazing.
I know, they look terrific. So that's exciting. This one, which I didn't completely paint, has a little bit of the lid showing. So I think I'm going to paint that. And then I want to, so this is going to be in the center of my, what did we call this thing?
Garland.
Garland. Yes, this is going to be the center of my garland. And then I'm going to have these on each side like this. I'm also going to put a little bead in the center, and I played around. I put some flowers. I'll show you how I do that. But this one in the center, it's a little bit bigger. It's a little different than the other corks. So I wanted this one to look a little different. So I'm also going to paint it a little differently. So I'm just going to take some of this green color. I'm going to take my little sea sponge and I'm going to get some of the green on there. And I'm just going to sponge this. I did base coat this the crinoline color. And that way, I thought that this mushroom should be a little different from the others. But I still wanted to keep the same color scheme going. So yeah, I'm liking that.
I like the way that's turning out.
Thank you. I'm liking it too.
That looks awesome, dear.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was hoping for, is just some texture on there, a little bit of color. I am going to put some, I was thinking about putting some dots on the other ones, but I kind of like the sponge, so I may end up coming back and doing the sponge on the other ones too, but we'll see. First, I'm going to experiment with my original idea, was just to paint some spots on there.
Are you calling an audible, dear?
Hey, that's the way it goes, isn't it? If I didn't call an audible, you would probably be worried about me.
Oh, I just sit around and wait for the pivot.
But yeah, look how cute that is.
That looks amazing.
I like that a lot. So I could put some sponge paint, some crinoline on these, but I think what I want to do first is try just freehand painting some crinoline dots on them. I'll let him sit there to dry. I can use, I think, just a paintbrush and make some little dots. And we'll see. If I don't like it, of course, I can always paint it green again, and then I might try the sponging. We'll just kind of see how that goes. But let's try some crinoline dots on here. So I'm kind of trying to decide if I want to paint them or if I want to do like I did the center dot on these flowers. I think I actually used the end of this brush to do that. So maybe let's try that and see what happens. So I just dipped it in there. The end of this brush happens to be pretty flat, but it's round, and so it's pretty good for making dots. There's a dot. I'm trying to make them a little bit random because I want to have a few of these bigger dots on here, but then I will also make some smaller dots so that, and if you dip the end of your brush in the paint like that, your first dot will be the biggest one. And then after that, because there's less paint, they start to get a little bit smaller. You can just kind of keep going until you run out of paint and then reload and start over again. And that's kind of what I'm doing here. So that I have a variety of sizes, but they're all pretty round. Not perfect, but let me hold this little guy up. Oh, I kind of like having a variety.
Yes,
what do you think?
The contrast is good.
Yeah? Okay. All right, so I think my mushrooms are good. They just need to dry. And now I'm going to work on these beads that I'm going to hang in the center And so they're just wooden beads. I don't really remember where I got them, probably at Hobby Lobby.
I think so.
Well, that's where I get everything, huh? And I'm going to paint these little flowers on them. I'm going to paint one on each side so that hopefully when they hang, they'll show really nicely. Well, I'm just going to show you kind of my technique. I like to put it on a bamboo skewer. That way I'm not smudging the paint. It just kind of gives me a little better way to hold them. And then I still have my three colors here. I have my orange that I mixed with the white swan, the yellow, and the green. So these have all been mixed, and that's the same color that I painted the mushrooms. And I just have this round painter's brush, and I'm just going to make like a little 5-petaled flower. So I like to just, I'll just kind of do it first and then maybe talk through it. So what I want to do is make it look like a petal. So kind of round on one end and a little pointed on the other one. And some of my petals come out better than others. That one wasn't my best one. But I just kind of put the brush down, and then I kind of lift as I'm dragging toward the center, and that way it looks a little bit like a petal. Of course, I could kind of draw it like you would, with an ink pen or a marker, but the brush is kind of designed to be able to make strokes in particular shapes, so that's why I chose a round brush. And if I don't like the way one came, I can always go back and kind of reshape it a little bit. So there are 5 of these petals. Got one more petal to do. So there are the petals for the flower. And then I use the end of the brush, just like I did for the mushrooms, to do that center of the flower. And I just do the yellow right there in the center. And then I'm going to switch to another brush just so I don't have to rinse it. This one's nice. This one's, I think it's also, this is a liner brush. It's a little thinner than this one. So I can get a little bit finer of a point. And this is just for the leaves. And for the leaves, I kind of go in the opposite direction than I did the petals. And I also kind of curl them out a little bit more. So I put one in between each set of petals. And this one, I start here, and then as I'm moving my brush, I'm also lifting it so that it gets a little bit thinner there on the end and looks a little bit more like a leaf. And these do not have to be perfect, because probably you're not going to really be staring at them. They're kind of to accent the garland. I have one more leaf to go. And there we go. And we have another flower. This paint, because the way that I painted it, it's a little glopped on there, so it's going to take some time to dry. So I definitely
kind of thick.
A little bit thick, yeah. Just because I wanted to do just one nice thick coat. These were the same way when I first did them, and I let them dry. Actually, it's been a couple of days since I did these, so these are nice and dry. But I'm going to go ahead and finish the rest of these, and we're getting there. I think we'll have to seal them and then hang them on a string, and we'll be ready to finish them up.
They look good.
Thank you. Okay, so I have everything painted, and now I just have to put my big top coat to protect everything. So I'm going to put it on both the little mushrooms, just where I painted on them, not on the cork. And always remember when you're putting your top coat on chalk paint, you do want to be careful not to reactivate it and let it get kind of smeary on there. So just kind of a quick light coat. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the beads. All right, we'll let those dry, and then we'll come back and string them onto the garland. So I have all my pieces painted and sealed and mostly dry. Rick helped me dry them with a blow dryer while I was finishing them up. And I measured my window that these are going to go in, and it's about 36 inches wide. So I cut some of this jute. This is what I'm going to use to hang my pieces. And so I'm just measuring the center, and I'm going to put the center mushroom on. And I'm going to work on there. Uh-oh, dropped a mushroom. Okay. So it works out to where it's going to be about 5 inches between each mushroom, but I also want to put a little flower bead in there. So I might have too many. I don't know. I'm going to have to experiment a little bit here. So I'm going to say I want this to be about 2 inches. I'm just kind of roughly measuring these. I'm just going to tie a little knot here. I'm tying it kind of loose because my string is not very big, and I don't want these beads to slide over my little knots. I'm just putting a knot on each side. All right. There's that. This one I'm just going to tie right on there. Trying to get these roughly the same distance apart. They won't be perfect. Oh, how cute is this? You like it?
The cutest.
Thank
The
you.
cutest.
All right, I'm going to keep tying these on here.
There we go.
We're back.
We're back. You okay over there? What are you doing?
Putting on my shoe.
Should we show them? The finished product.
I'm so excited about this. It's
Drum roll,
just making me
please.
smile.
Can you do a drum roll?
No. How do
There we go. This turned out so nice.
I'm
look at
so
that.
excited. Isn't it adorable? I mean, it just came together so well. I'm so happy with it.
It looks amazing, dear.
Oh,
it's hard to say what I like better. The mushrooms are amazing. You picked the great spring colors.
I love the colors.
I think the beads set it off, though.
I know.
The beads were a bigger impact than I thought.
I know. I wasn't sure if they were going to be too much, but I do. I think it's just right. So
I'm proud of you, dear. You did amazing.
Thank you.
Amazing. So are you going to take pictures of it?
Yes, we'll hang it. We'll hang it in the window and take some good pictures of it. And I want to thank Dakota, our son, and the bullpen in Estes Park.
Yes.
Because that's where we got these adorable corks, or awesome corks that we made into adorable mushrooms. So
yes, one more time. Yep. There we go. Thank you, bullpen. Thank you, Dakota and Angie. You did a tremendous job.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
Anything you want to say before we go? Anything about the closing or the spring release?
Oh yeah, we got our shipment today.
We got our shipment today.
We did. We received our IOD shipment.
The living room looks like an IOD warehouse.
Well, we had to look at all the new stuff.
We had to.
I know. So 17 new products.
Yes.
So we got a close-up look at them, and stay tuned because we will do a reveal video on.
And you will not be disappointed.
And that's Thursday, right? It's coming
Thursday is the release, and we will do the video probably. Make it Wednesday and have it up Thursday.
Yes, so Thursday morning, as soon as we're able to, we will post. We'll post our video, and yeah, you can always order from us IOD at harmonyvintagedecor.com.
And this is very much what she looked like as a kid right before Christmas.
Yeah. I'm excited. There's great stuff in this.
You did a great job here. You used that IOD air dry clay and the DIY paints.
Yeah.
And the what is it? Big Top.
Big Top, yes.
Big Top. Nice. Well done, dear.
Thank you. Thanks for all your help.
See you guys.
Bye.